Good morning to the Monday morning inspiration for the joy of creation and the magic of art, creativity, and play. On this really beautiful morning here on the planet, it's sort of gloomy outside, and there's a thunderstorm coming up, and it's thundering, and the colors of the leaves are even popping more like now that it's gloomy. So, how have you all been? How is your life? What have you been creating? I'm just quickly checking. I think I'm live on Facebook, but what's it gonna take for this to show up with ease that I am live on Facebook? So, how is your world? Do you have any questions for me? You can always ask them. I don't see myself. I have no idea whether I'm live. Facebook says I'm live, but I don't see where. Okay, although I chose it. Well, that's interesting. I'm here, and you are here. That's awesome. So, today I would like to talk about creating with no expectations. And I could also say living with no expectations, because expectations get always in the way. Have you ever noticed when you expect a painting to turn out a specific way, or any of your creations, that you set yourself up for failure, for unhappiness, or whatever? Like when we have no expectations, what is possible? So, could you choose that to have no expectations? No, you cannot. I can choose it, but you cannot. Yes, you can. Of course, you can choose it. So, what can you choose that you think you cannot choose? And could you also choose ease? When we have expectations, just let's talk about this for a moment. When you have expectations, do you have ease? When you have expectations, are you open to things showing up in your life? Are you open to sort of all the possibilities or the gifts that the universe would like to gift you? Are you open to that or not? When we have expectations, we sort of set the stage for a specific outcome. It's like a box, right? So it goes from here to here. I expect that. Also, do you expect results? Do you create for result, or do you create for events? What is it that you are choosing? It is a choice that you are making, and of course very often it is not really clear to us that we are really choosing it, but we are. When you create with a result in mind, you sort of paint the painting maybe for an exhibit, or with the goal to sell it, or whatever. And whatever, you can also take this into any area of your life. It's these expectations. What are you expecting of yourself? What are you expecting of the paintings? What are you expecting of others? Do you expect to be discovered? Like, what ease is actually possible if we didn't expect anything? Just for a moment, get that space. What ease can you choose and have if you don't have expectations? What can you create with no expectations of the outcome? When you create, I don't know, when you write a book, or you paint a painting, or you create a business with a specific requirement, sort of a need, a need for it to be successful, a need for it to sell or whatever, and then it does not, what does this create? What do you choose then when your expectations are not being met? So what is actually possible when we don't expect anything? What is possible? What do we expect from other people? What do you expect from governments? What do you expect from politicians? What do you expect, huh? And expect, right? So when we expect something from somebody else, are we actually choosing for us? Are we being the creators? Are we taking action? Or are we going to the space of reaction, which is a very tiny space, reaction? Are you active or reactive? Who has the power? Did you give away the power to everybody else? Or have you ever acknowledged your power? And what if your choice is actually a power that you have? Where you are in your studio and you are painting with no expectations, like just get for a moment the freedom of that. You don't expect that your painting looks the same way as the last one. You don't expect anything of it. So what can then actually show up? When, like, it's so interesting when people say, oh, this is your best work, this is your best painting, or maybe you say that about yourself, this was my best, I don't know what day, my best job, my best, right, whatever it is. What is it for you that you are telling yourself over and over and over? Oh, this was, I looked the best on, I don't know, that picture from I don't know when, right? So just look at, where am I doing this? Where are you doing this, right? And then what does this create? What do you actually, behind the scenes, behind the curtain, expect of yourself? What do you expect of your paintings? And when you go to this space of expectation, to this tiny, tiny, tiny box, you also choose the need of your expectations to be fulfilled. Otherwise, expectations wouldn't make sense. Now, what if you don't expect anything? Would anything have to be, any need be fulfilled? Or could you be free to create? Could you be free to paint anything or to write a totally different book? And how much fun could you have if you don't expect somebody else to take care of you in whatever way, financially or whatever? What could you create? What would be possible? And now the rain is really pouring. It's beautiful. Maybe I will not go in the garden today. Oh, I didn't expect myself to do that today. I was just like, there are still some things I would like to do, but maybe not in the pouring rain, right? Although it could be fun. So creating with no expectations. Expectations are really where we have a lot of judgment, where we limit the outcome, because what happens when the expectations are not met? So you can just ask yourself, like, wow, what are my expectations actually? What do I expect of my business? What do I expect of my body? What do I expect of my creations, my art, my books, my writings, my classes? I don't know, whatever it is for you. What are your expectations? And are you willing to let them go? And some of you might find that you really love the drama that expectations create. Oh, the drama, whatever you are creating. So some of you love drama. And so just acknowledge it. It's okay. You love the ups and downs and, whatever that is, a gift to you. It's a choice. And is it working? And if it is not working, well, will you change it? So if you think now, yes, but you are not willing to change it, that's okay. So creating with no expectations. If you are free from expectations, if you don't expect anything from you, if you don't expect anything from anyone, what can actually show up in your life? What can show up in your studio? What can show up on your canvas? What can you paint? What colors can you mix? You know, we have all our ways of like doing things. It's like the to-go box where we have decided, oh, that's the most pretty red. That's the best red I ever mixed, which is an interesting point of view. It is a limitation. It's where we can never mix a different red. But if we don't expect anything, you know, my brush sometimes on the palette accidentally touches a different color that is next to it, and then the color I'm mixing turns out different, and I'm like, wow, this is so cool. Wow, how did I create this now? Oh yeah, that green came in there, and that is awesome. And now you can take this as a metaphor and put it into any area of your life. No expectations is the space of total freedom where you can also excel beyond anything you have created so far. You can outcreate yourself. You can outmarvel yourself. You can create paintings that you didn't even know you could create. You could write books that you had no ideas are possible because you allow yourself to fail. Like, are you willing to totally fail? Are you willing to be undiscovered? So what is possible when you don't wait for anything, when you don't expect, like when we wait for something, when we wait to be discovered, do you see how there are expectations? Oh, somebody must find me, otherwise I will not be successful, otherwise blah blah blah. And this is this reality that is suggesting this all the time, everywhere. So what freedom is possible for you, and what can you create? What ease could you choose with letting go of expectations? What if never ever anybody discovers you? Hmm. Also, a cool question to ask is, if I had no past, what could I choose? Because expectations are always connected to the past. Have you ever noticed? If you had no past, what could you create? If you had no past, what could you choose? Because we always go to this place where we compare with the past. Otherwise, we would never have this point of view of, oh, this was my best year. This was my best whatever exhibit. This was my best show. This was my best, I don't know, photo. It's always the past, right? So if you had no past, could you have expectations? Okay. I have no idea who's here. I'm so sorry about this. I hope this is a contribution. Let me know if you have questions, and keep creating. This is this Monday morning inspiration, creating and living with no expectation. Have a gorgeous week. I see you soon. Enjoy the day. What's possible today that was not possible yesterday? Okay, I see you soon. Bye.